Hi, I want to share a tip with you, something that can kind of clear the conflicts for good. Often, before I knew what I want to share with you, if I had a clear and calm conversation that involved some kind of conflict, and I was heard and I was felt emotionally, there was still some tension in my body that might not be related from what actually was the conflict, but mostly from my past. And I didn't quite know what to do with it. Sometimes it actually led me to kind of avoid the situation that led to the conflict or avoid the person. And eventually it led to more and more distance and more projections and whatnot. So what I want to share with you can do is to just basically clear that out so you can be in the present moment. And the idea is that we all live with trauma, and trauma leads to fragmentation. And the way it works is, let's say you grew up in a family where it's not okay to say no. So when somebody does something to you and you have a no, stop doing that, you suppress that. So you have the instinct to say, stop hurting me, but then you have a stronger impulse to just be silent and take it, because saying no would lead to more of what you don't want. So it's like an intelligent response. And yet I'm living then with the tension of this no and then the suppression of that. And then I lead my life with this sense of it's not okay to set boundaries because it's not safe to set boundaries. And this is one example of what potentially happens then in conflicts, is that we are reminded of how difficult it is to set boundaries. It's easy to resent them or to think bad things about them or to backtalk or whatever it is. This fight instinct lives, but it's not something I can actually relate to or use in a way to allow myself to be more seen and to be more felt and to be more honest about the impact others have on me. So going back to this conflict, I've shared with you, I've received from you this, what I hear you saying is, so I know you get it intellectually, you felt me as well, because I've accessed some more vulnerable feelings. So I feel you emotionally. And yet what to do with this? What to do with this kind of this tension? I want you to bring this tension in the body in contact with the person and do like a non-verbal push and pull dialogue. This is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to demonstrate this in the next clip. Okay, so stay with me. This is going to revolutionize the way you see conflict and how you can move it non-verbally to basically live more in the present moment.
Hello.
Hi, Sam. So let's say that we have had a conversation where I shared something and you have kind of said what I hear you share is, and I've said, yeah, you get it. And also you've shared perhaps some empathy where I feel heard emotionally as well. And you might also have let me in on the impact of what I shared, which might be like hearing you share that I notice I'm feeling a bit heavy and there's some ache in my heart, or there can be like a physical impact as well. As in you might feel brighter, you might feel really connected, you might feel heavy, but there's a certain kind of impact. And so within this context then, like what I want to invite to is to, like, if there is some tension still left, if there's some contraction, maybe some numbness, maybe some emotions that are a bit more agitating, like activating, that we allow that to move in touch, in breath, and in sound. So
touch, breath, and sound.
Yeah, touch as in like physical contact, and breath as in we breathe to feel, in sound, as in using the voice, and also there's a movement. Like, so actually there is a bit of a movement. And so how to start? Just maybe starting just like, so it's, let's do it as well in a direction. So it's like, you will meet me. So I've shared, and there's something instilled in my solar plexus, and you want to be with me and meet me as I'm with it and allow it to be expressed. So in a way, you're in service of kind of hearing me non-verbally, feeling me non-verbally, if that makes sense. And if there's a need later to do the opposite way, then you will feel what's alive in your body and you will move that with me, serving you, connecting and letting me be with you as you are with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. So let's just start with, let's like hands up. And this is like the boundary muscles. So give me a little bit of a pressure. And I'm gonna give you a little bit, and yeah, so maybe you want to ground a little bit. And I'm thinking about this, the pressure of pleasure. So it's like a good feeling. So I'm gonna look at your mouth a little bit here as well. It goes up, the corners will, there's a bit of that joy. And I'm gonna kind of go for that. And you're just gonna meet me, exactly. So if I push, you also push more. And if I make a sound, you make a sound. Yeah. And also I might want to pull a little bit. So I want to take one wrist and pull. So one pulling and one pushing. So push there, and then pulling. So also feel here that we have contact. But same thing. Nice. Yeah, so let's just pause this. So what I'm feeling now is like there's a brightening. I feel there was some emotion there, some raw, like growl. So I feel more like brightened, right? Do you feel that too?
More like alert as well.
Alert, yeah, like more present, right?
Yeah.
So for me, this would be at least a step in the right direction. I'm feeling like, okay, I felt those more heard. And then I would just love to invite just a hug and like a softer touch as well.
Yes.
Is it good to you?
Yes.
Yeah. And for me, this hug is also giving my body the sense of welcoming. Of like, yeah, I can bring these more kind of aggressive impulses in connection and be received, and then that can allow me to soften, also receive the love, the care, the presence.
The safety.
Yeah, the safety. Yeah, I can bring these irrational parts that have very little to do with what actually we talked about, but more about my past. And to bring that into this connection feels so like an update, like an upgrade of the whole nervous system. Now I know that conflict can actually lead us closer, and I can actually find more of a completion. And now we can go play.
Cool.
How do you feel now? Well, do you have any questions or?
I feel quite warm, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of energy moving, and like maybe also something in me that was kind of coming out, even though I was meeting you and like giving you space. It felt like I also had space within that. Yeah, I feel like a lot of heat.
Yeah, something
heat.
moved, yeah.
Don't have questions right now.
Yeah. Do you feel complete, or do you want to do the opposite direction? Like, do you want me to serve you in moving?
I'd be curious to try.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's try it. Then I'm serving you.
Cool.
So I'm just going to meet you in whatever intensity, the amount of pressure, the speed. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. What are you experiencing? What's the shift?
It's so relieving.
Oh.
Like, it's so much more relaxing. There's more space in my body. I'm still warm. Like, I still feel all of this heat just moving through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Anything to round it off for your end?
I actually feel really good right now. Like this.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. So I hope that you could feel a little bit of what has been shifting for me and for Sam. Like, you might actually feel the relief in your body. You might feel a bubbly joy. Or you might feel a bit uncomfortable because we made louder sounds.
Or feel warm.
Or feel warmth or whatever it is. But, you know, I'm really curious about your response to this, and welcoming any questions, any comments below. Okay, thank you.